So as my last video was talking about, the third series in development in AMC of the Walking Dead universe. What was that series going to be about? And even though they haven't given us any details at this point, what could it be about? And I was wondering, what do you guys think about adapting the Telltale game series, The Walking Dead, with Clementine and just telling the story from her perspective? Let's get into it. Hey YouTubers, don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell over by the subscriber button to notify you every single time I upload. Okay, so this is something that kind of came to my mind a little bit late. Obviously, I just did my video about the 5 possibilities of the new series and what that could entail. And I still like the idea of them bringing back Maggie, maybe bringing in Negan, or doing a governor spinoff, or maybe even bringing in the Commonwealth or just someone completely new from a completely different terrain, climate, maybe even nationality and place on Earth in the Walking Dead universe. All of those have a lot of appeal and a lot of creative decisions that you can make. Like the Purge movies, The Walking Dead is just something that you can do as a completely anthology-based television show and have a lot of different characters go through a lot of different events and not really have it connect one way or another. At the very core of it, The Walking Dead is about characters and survival and just seeing what people are willing to do in one situation or the next. You don't have to have it be Rick, his group, or anybody else in one situation after another. In fact, that might be what is leading to some decline from viewership or people's interest in The Walking Dead, is Rick and his group always go through the same issues. Of course, at this point, it's Daryl and his group, but you know what I mean. So with AMC saying that they're going to create a third series in the Walking Dead universe, it's led a lot of people to speculate what could that series be and what can give it a new and interesting take on the series or the franchise as a whole that would get people's interest. I'm not really sure, but the more and more I think of it, I feel like adapting Clementine from Telltale's The Walking Dead game series might be the best option. Now, first and foremost, I feel like it's important to say that no matter what, this would not adapt very well from the game series to the small screen, because at its heart, the Telltale game series is about characters making decisions, people who play the characters making their decisions and building that character over the course of not only one episode or one game, but multiple games, multiple episodes, multiple seasons, and getting to see that progression. Obviously, the storytellers or people creating the television series couldn't do that. So inevitably, you might end up pissing off a lot of fans who feel like the Clementine that they see on the television show is completely different than the Clementine that they made on their video game. In fact, because Clementine on the video game is more related to the comic books, with her character coming across people like Herschel and Glenn and all these other things that happened in the comic books, at least being tangibly connected to them, you cannot have her character do that. We cannot have that anymore. We've moved past that in the television world. So Clementine in the television show, if they were to base it on her and her adventures, would have to be a completely whole new and original character, kind of in namesake only, but I feel like would allow for an interesting dynamic on a television show that The Walking Dead has never explored, or at least up until this point has never explored. And that is having one character aged through multiple actors over the course of maybe 1, 2, or 3 seasons, and having maybe entire seasons broken up into 2 stories with 2 different actresses playing the same character. Aging her from the beginning of the zombie apocalypse to where we are now in the Walking Dead universe with the main television show, approximately 10 years after the start of the zombie apocalypse. That's a lot of aging, and especially a lot you can do with one character if you make her very young from the very first story that you tell. I think that that would be interesting enough, move quick enough, and allow us to tell the most needed stories in 8-episode arcs, even if it's a 16-episode season, that would get the audience invested in this character and her journey. Think of the way that this series could potentially be structured as the Moonlight of the Walking Dead universe, starting with the childhood age of one girl moving up rapidly through her aging process and the way that she deals with the zombie apocalypse, where we're no longer in a world where people like Carl or maybe even Alicia or Nick can age into the Walking Dead universe, but we're rapidly moving through their aging process and their character development, telling only the stories that need to be told at that moment that they're being told. Not a single wasted episode, as you only have 8 episodes every single age cycle to express the story of where Clementine is and what she needs to do and who she's interacting with in any given part of a season. To me, this makes a whole lot of sense and something that I would really like to see. Now, as I said, a lot of people might have a problem with this because Clementine is inherently theirs. They've played the Telltale games and they've made the decisions for this character. They've interacted and related to her in a very intimate way in that sense, more so that you can do in the small screen television world. But I think it would be an interesting creative challenge for people at AMC to come up with a legitimate story to tell with this character in the universe that they've created for The Walking Dead on the small screen, while also paying tribute to the character and the relationship that she has with the fans from the video game series, and trying to do the best by her as they adapt her in a live action format. To me, this would be an interesting way to introduce a character like Clementine into The Walking Dead, create a third show in The Walking Dead universe, and probably, if they want to, help Clementine through her journeys over the course of however many seasons this third television series is going to be, connect not only to the main show of The Walking Dead, but possibly even Fear the Walking Dead and maybe even the Rick Grimes movies. You have this character growing up in the zombie apocalypse, interacting with things that we have either seen or haven't seen before, and through those seasons and through various Easter eggs that they're planting throughout the entire show, you start connecting the dots between all the other things in the universe, and we see how this one character is going to bring all these different entities and characters and situations and communities and all this other stuff together to the inevitable conclusion, or wherever AMC is taking this entire universe. Of course, that wouldn't end anything, but it would create a very satisfying situation for any fan like myself who's been watching The Walking Dead ever since it started, and it would be really interesting to see if that's the direction that they're going to go with this third series. Of course, in my last video, I'm thinking characters as a spin-off from the main television show, people like Maggie and Negan, maybe things setting up the future of The Walking Dead like a prequel to the Commonwealth, or maybe just things to shake up the status quo of The Walking Dead, doing things in different terrains, different climate regions, or different places on Earth, because at its core, The Walking Dead is just like the Purge franchise, the movies and the television shows. It's more of an anthology series. It's about people surviving and seeing them survive in different areas and how they interact with the world around them. It can go and be told in so many different contexts that it's almost mind-boggling. But for me, if you're going to start connecting stories and you want this universe to be bigger than what you're telling people it's been for the last couple of years, then this might be the best solution. Have a character age rapidly, trying to tell her story and only telling the most needed stories at any given time, and then eventually have her story interact with every other story that you're trying to tell in this universe. And there is nobody better at this point, at least in the fan consciousness, than a character like Clementine, because a lot of people are already so emotionally invested in her character, and I feel like it would be well worth it for anyone who's been waiting for The Walking Dead, AMC, and anybody else to create a worthwhile show in the Walking Dead universe that's completely separate from things like what they've been doing with their Walking Dead show or anything related to Fear the Walking Dead. I would totally watch this show. I want to hear in the comment section, would you watch this show? Would you be against them trying to adapt Clementine in her own television show, or would you be for that? Tell me what you would like to see from this show, how you would like it to interact not only with Fear the Walking Dead, but Walking Dead proper, or any of the Rick Grimes movies, and anything else that you can think of to tell me in the comment section below. I hope everyone's having a fantastic day. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that bell over by the subscriber button to notify you every single time I upload. Go down to the description section below, hit that link, and go follow me on Twitter. I'm always on Twitter for anyone who wants to talk to me about The Walking Dead or any other horror-related movie franchise, anime, box office, anything else that I cover on my other channel. Just anything. I'm always over there. Go follow me over there. We can talk. Hope everyone's having a fantastic day. It's been real.